Welcome to Stories for Sleep. Please let us know in the comments where in the world you are listening from and what time it is there. Thank you in advance for supporting us by liking the video and subscribing to the channel. 15th century Europe. The Ottoman Empire was advancing rapidly into the Balkans, and the armies of Sultan Mehmed II were pressing against the gates of Europe. Yet in these lands, there was one ruler whose very name struck fear into people's hearts. Vlad Tepes, known as Vlad the Impaler. Today, his name is tied to the legend of Dracula. But beyond the myths, the real Vlad's story is more terrifying than imagination itself. A life filled with betrayal, blood, and torture, and a legacy of thousands of impaled corpses. Vlad was born in 1431 in the Transylvanian town of Sighișoara. His father, Vlad II Dracula, was the Prince of Wallachia. The title Dracula came from his membership in the Order of the Dragon, a Catholic order dedicated to defending Christianity against Ottoman expansion. But Vlad's childhood was far from safe. Wallachia was a buffer zone between the Ottomans and Hungary. While his father tried to balance alliances with both sides, in 1442, Sultan Murad II of the Ottoman Empire demanded his sons as hostages to prove his loyalty. Thus, Vlad and his younger brother Radu were sent to the Ottoman court. They lived for years as hostages in Edirne. The court provided them with luxury and education. Vlad learned Turkish, studied the Quran, and received lessons in archery, swordsmanship, horsemanship, and politics. Yet, he was not free. His brother Radu adapted to palace life and became a close companion of Mehmed II. Vlad, however, grew resentful. According to some accounts, Vlad was punished several times. When he disobeyed, he was whipped or confined for days in dark cells. The rage he felt as a child would later fuel his hatred toward the Ottomans. For Vlad, the Ottoman court was not a school, but a prison. There, he swore an oath of vengeance. In 1447, Vlad's life was turned upside down. His father, Vlad II, and his older brother Mircea were killed by boyars supported by Hungary. According to reports, Mircea was blinded and buried alive. This became a trauma that scarred Vlad forever. The Ottomans supported Vlad's claim to the Wallachian throne. Still a young man, he was proclaimed prince for the first time. But he did not hold the throne for long. Rivals backed by Hungary overthrew him. Thus began a cycle that would last for years. Vlad rising to power, only to be deposed again. This period destroyed his trust in others. Vlad came to believe that friendship did not exist. Everyone was a potential traitor, an enemy to be eliminated. Vlad soon adopted the method that would make him infamous: impalement. This method was not new. It had been known in the Middle Ages, but Vlad turned it into an art form. The stake was sharpened with precision, and the victim was carefully placed on it. The stake was guided so that it passed through the body without damaging vital organs, prolonging the victim's agony. Thus, death could take days, sometimes even a week. Vlad applied this punishment not only to criminals, but to anyone who displeased him. Thieves, rebellious peasants, soldiers who disobeyed, all met the stake. One of the most famous incidents involved Ottoman envoys. When they came before him, they did not bow their heads as protocol demanded. Vlad asked angrily, "Why do you not show me respect?" The envoys replied, "It is our custom never to bow our heads." Vlad smiled. "Then I shall honor your custom." and he ordered their turbans nailed to their skulls. This story spread even within Ottoman lands, told with dread. From then on, Vlad was no longer just a prince. He became known as Vlad the Impaler. For Vlad, order could only be maintained through fear. According to chronicles, one day he invited all the beggars and poor people of Wallachia to a great banquet. Tables were set, wine flowed. Then the doors were locked, and the building was set on fire. Everyone inside perished. Vlad declared that he had purged the country of the lazy. In another tale, when gold was stolen from a villager's cart, Vlad found the thief and impaled him. Then he ordered even more gold to be placed on the cart. "Look," he said, "no one will dare steal again." Indeed, under his rule, doors were left unlocked, and theft was rare. But this order was not built on love. It was built on terror. In 1453, Sultan Mehmed II conquered Constantinople. Then he turned toward the Balkans. Wallachia was strategically vital. At first, Vlad appeared loyal, but soon he refused to pay tribute and rebelled. In 1462, his execution of Ottoman envoys severed all ties. Mehmed launched a major campaign against him. Instead of meeting the Ottomans head-on, Vlad used guerrilla tactics. He burned villages, destroyed supplies, and carried out night raids to spread panic. The Ottoman army advanced step by step, gripped by fear. On the night of June 17th, 1462, one of history's most famous night attacks took place. Vlad secretly entered the Ottoman camp, aiming directly for Mehmed II's tent. At midnight, he charged with his cavalry. Tents were set ablaze. Ottoman soldiers fell into chaos, attacking one another in the dark. According to accounts, Vlad reached the Sultan's tent, but Mehmed escaped that night. The attack was repelled, but the Ottomans suffered heavy losses. This daring strike demonstrated Vlad's ferocity and audacity to all of Europe. When Sultan Mehmed's forces reached Targovishte, they encountered one of the most horrifying sights in human history. More than 20,000 Ottoman soldiers impaled. The corpses had been rotting in the sun for days. Birds had eaten their flesh. The ground was soaked in blood. Many Ottoman soldiers fainted at the sight, but Mehmed remained calm and reportedly said, "To defeat a man like this, one must be just as brave as he is." These words immortalized Vlad's reputation. His name was now spoken with terror across both Europe and the Ottoman Empire. In Europe, Vlad's image was divided. Some praised him as a hero who resisted the Ottomans, the prince who stopped the Turks. But German pamphlets depicted his cruelty. Woodcuts printed in the 15th century showed hundreds of impaled victims. Villagers whispered his stories to one another. These tales, centuries later, inspired Bram Stoker's Dracula. While the vampire was fiction, the real figure behind it, Vlad, was horrifying enough. After the events at Targovishte, Vlad sought refuge in Hungary, but King Matthias betrayed him and imprisoned him for 12 years. For years, Vlad languished in dark dungeons. According to accounts, he tortured animals, catching and mutilating rats and insects to pass the time. Some say he descended into madness. Yet even after being released years later, he returned to the struggle for the throne. For him, life was nothing but an endless war. In 1476, Vlad reclaimed the throne once more, but his reign was brief. That same year, He was killed in battle. The details of his death remain uncertain. Some sources claim that Ottoman soldiers cut off his head and sent it to Istanbul, where it was displayed on a stake. The location of his body remains debated. Some believe he was buried at Snagov Monastery, while others claim his grave was lost forever. Today, Vlad remains a controversial figure. In Romania, some still see him as a national hero who resisted the Ottomans. In the West, he is remembered as one of history's bloodiest tyrants. In Transylvania, Bran Castle, marketed as Dracula's castle, attracts millions of tourists each year. Visitors come to hear the tales of the Impaler. But the truth is this: Vlad the Impaler carved his place in history through sheer brutality. His name will forever be associated with blood, torture, and fear. Who do you think is the most ruthless character in history?